Good to see you. How are things?
Good to see you.
How's your
good.
BevNet Live going?
Great.
I'm
Great
sorry,
event.
I
I
grabbed
hope
you
I
before
don't
you
fall.
got seated.
Yeah, there you go.
We're in a packed house here at the expo. You just got to hoot.
You can't. I know. So
Yeah, it's wall to wall with folks here, and it's fantastic. I mean,
it's a testament to you and what the organization's done the
Thank you
last
very
several
much.
years.
Thank
I mean,
you.
when I first started coming here, it was 1/10 of the size.
Yes.
And this is special.
And I didn't mention that you're a principal with Zuckerman Honickman. Been a great partner to BevNet for a long time. Thank you so much for your support. Tell our listeners at home, or our viewers at home, if they're not familiar with ZH, what do you guys do and how do you work with beverage companies?
So we're a full-service packaging company, specializes in glass, plastic, and aluminum containers. And what we do is we start with a small to medium-sized startup company, help them grow, many times extend terms, build molds, help finance them, and build loyalty. And we make a living on selling them that container, but what we do is mentor brands. So we have relationships on the distribution side, on the private equity side, and the brands that we believe in, that we're partners with, we support. We've been lucky enough to partner with a lot of the big ones the last, call it 20 years, from Snapple to Vitamin Water to Bai, most recently Body Armor, Spindrift. I mean, they're something we're proud of.
You mentioned Spindrift, and I know it's only been over the last couple of years that you've got into cans, and cans have been a really important part of your portfolio. Where's your can business at this point, and is it, how is it growing?
So cans were not a target for us. There was never a distribution partner in the can industry. And we started small with brands like Stoli, Ginger Beer, and it grew organically. We didn't put a lot of resources behind it. And overnight, it became a really focused business segment for us, and we're grateful. We have a very close relationship with Ardal. That's our can company of choice, and it's grown. It's been really well for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing liquids that you may not have ever seen or maybe even thought you'd see in cans, including kombucha. We had Marty Wall, who's the president of Brew Doctor, on earlier. They just got into cans. They're going national in Whole Foods in July. Are you expecting to see more of that?
So I think kombucha is the perfect segment to go in cans. I really do. I think the consumer, it's a cold, recyclable, friendly material. Another trend that we've seen, wine in slim cans, is booming right now. So what we're also seeing from the bigger players, right, from the Anheuser-Busch's and the Gallows, they will create a holiday pack or a something special, right? And they'll use these mobile canners to run, for them it's an afterthought. For us it's great business, 100,000 cases or so. And it enables them to not only hit their broad target market, but their specific targets.
Yeah. Another business that's blowing up right now is the coffee business. Also seeing a lot more coffee in cans. But then you're also seeing a lot more nitro coming into the coffee segment as well, nitro cold brews. In fact, the next person on here is Nitro Beverage Company, and they're launching, or they've got a whole bunch of beverages in that package. Do you expect to see that growth to continue?
I really do. The industry is poised for major growth on the can side. The supply chain's gearing up for capacity, and what we're seeing, in order to target smaller companies, we're seeing them become a lot more flexible, help with design charges, help with speed to market, and so on.
Yeah. You guys also work with a pretty interesting material in pulp. And you mentioned wine before, and I remember seeing a wine bottle made out of pulp. I mean, it's basically a cardboard type bottle.
Sure.
Where's that package format right now in terms of its growth stage?
So where we are with pulp, we signed an exclusive deal where Zuckerman Honickman will be the exclusive supplier of pulp packaging to North America. And right now we're going through R&D with several large companies. And what that means is we have a vessel now. We need to determine how that vessel interacts with specific products. So, for example, we know it works with kombucha, but I have to put a specific thickness, a liner thickness in there in order to do so. So we are poised for launch. We are looking at third quarter of this year.
So one of the questions we always get, and I saw your colleague Adam Dorfman at our beverage school event yesterday. He's out here as well. One of the questions we get from beverage companies is, hey, I'd love to work with Zuckerman Honickman, but when should I approach them? Is it my first year? Is my first 2 years? Is it a certain sales number that you should be reaching or a volume number?
So Business 101 tells us the larger they are, the better they are. We feel differently. And I say that to you because a lot of the great relationships, great beverage companies that I mentioned earlier came from initial startup meetings. Seth Goldman's a great example. He came into our company with a thermos and Dixie cups at the time, literally.
Yep.
And so I would say that...
Seth Goldman now very famous for being the co-founder of Honest Tea.
Of course.
Right.
I would say that the earlier the better, which is quite opposite of what I think you would expect me to say.
Yeah.
Our goal is to build loyalty, help these brands early on where we add the most value.
And, you have a booth out here at the Expo. Are you taking meetings with a lot of these younger, early-stage entrepreneurs? And, what are they trying to come to market with? Is it more glass? What are you seeing them asking for?
So the biggest trend that we're seeing in our investment in pulp supports this is environmentally friendly packaging.
Yep.
Number one. Having said that, it has to be real, credible, because we've seen a lot of things that haven't been credible, and it has to be cost competitive. Those are the two major check boxes for us. And so that's the major trend. We're not only seeing it in packaging, you're seeing it in beverages.
Right. Well, how do you, what's the proof point for sustainability and for recyclability? Because, pulp is, a relatively new package format. What kind of research is out there? What kind of data is out there to support the fact that this is indeed a recycled, sustainable material?
So for us to get involved in the company, and we represented several additives, PET additives that were considered environmentally friendly.
Yep.
But we didn't believe in them. So while we sold them, we had our customers hold us harmless because it's nothing we supported. Pulp took a 2-year, 24-month due diligence.
Wow.
Okay, before we even got around the table to negotiate a deal, because we needed to believe it was really credible. So without boring you,
please go ahead.
The statistics, the science is all there behind it. We're calling the pulp container biodegradable, but there's also a version of it that's going to have a sprayed PET liner in it, so oxygen won't come in. We're putting plastic in there, but we're putting 6% plastic. So in theory, we like to look at it as we're saving 90% of the actual vessel.
That's really
94%, excuse me.
It's really interesting. So it's sort of a hybrid approach to a recyclable product.
Correct.
So the other thing that's really interesting to me is how much this industry has changed, and how hard it's been for you guys. And I don't know if it has been at all, or how challenging. What are the challenges, with an industry that's evolving so fast, and you don't know, what trend or another might have those legs that could turn into a billion-dollar category or not.
So for us, it's taking educated, I want to say the word gamble, but that's not the appropriate word, educated guesses.
Sure.
So if you look historically, right, our beverage industry has gone from glass to PET with base cups. Remember those things?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
To hot fill, to panelless hot fill, to aseptic. And I'm saying that to you because it's our job to be at the forefront of those trends.
Right.
We guess wrong plenty of times, but our thought is the ones that we support, we do it in an educated manner, and we try to be ahead of trends. Case in point, we invested and got behind the first, what we call panelless hot fill bottle, right? So all those bottles, the hot fill bottles were similar to vitamin water and Gatorade with those heat panels around them. We launched and were able to get behind the first technology to make it panelless. So we thought the industry in plastic would be looking towards a glass-like package, and it was a lucky guess. We were right with that. So
very interesting. For our viewers at home who want to get in touch with you, who aren't here at BevNet Live, what's the best way to reach out to Zuckerman Honickman?
MF, no jokes, Zuckerman at zh-inc.com.
One more time.
M as in Michael, F as in Frank, Zuckerman at zh-inc.com. Inc.com.
Outstanding. Viewers at home, a gentleman and scholar in the truest sense of the words that is. Get in touch with Michael. He's a great guy, a great supporter of
I
BevNet.
can't
Really
thank you
appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.